the pharmaceutical companies and science have discovered, which would you say are the most popular peptides right now in the community of people who know about peptides, right? Which would be maybe the top three? Of course, you mentioned one, but I know there's a couple of other ones. And why would you say that they're the most popular among the people who are in that community?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say top three is tough, but yeah, I feel like the GLP-1s are constantly being looked at. They're being researched. They're showing that there's a lot more to them than just weight loss. I mean, they're lowering blood pressure. They're lowering, liver enzymes. They're lowering all these different markers, cardiac markers. They're showing that there's such a full body health benefit, whether it's your brain, your heart, your kidneys, your liver. I mean, they're doing great things. So I think GLP-1s we're going to look back on them and be like, holy cow, these are, some of the greatest quote unquote drugs, that have been introduced into the marketplace. The repair ones come up a lot as well. BPC 157, like we talked about, and it's often paired with TB 500. Now it's being paired with GHKCU and KPV, and they're all essentially repair peptides. And so those, I love those as well. And then there's a lot of the growth hormone agonists as well, to help put on lean muscle and keep lean muscle, which I've been reading studies on the next generation, like fourth generation, fifth generation, sixth generation GLP-1s, where they're going to look at blending those a little bit more. So there's not so much of the muscle loss that you see on the GLP-1s. They're going to keep their muscle and just lose fat. So I think those are all, probably the most exciting that get talked about the most. But yeah, there's so many more. I could go on forever and ever. But yeah, if I had to pick three, I would say those three categories: GLP-1 weight loss, the repair, and the growth hormone agonists.
And it's just you're used to saying them. You talk about them every day, basically almost every day on social media. So you're used to the terms. But for most people, it is difficult to remember, it's just letters and numbers and stuff like that. I'll tell you one that called my attention a lot is when a person who was, in that community said, oh yeah, we have a bikini peptide. I'm like, bikini? What does that mean? So it made me easier to understand. Okay, so I get this now. And it's exactly what you just described. And I was like, okay, that makes me pumped up, because all of those codes, they don't speak anything to me. So, and I think it's very exciting that there is so much of that hype going on right now, and that people have access to that type of information, and more doctors are getting to know a little bit about that. My particular primary doctor, I was shocked when I came to her. She says, okay, are you still taking these supplements? I said, yeah, but I'm also doing this and this and that. And then she says, oh yeah, I do those too. And then she never talked to me about it before, maybe because I didn't ask. So now I just opened this whole Pandora box about talking about peptides with her, and she's so into it. And it's not every primary doctor who actually, is totally into that. Some of them I even say, I'm not sure why, because they don't know yet. They haven't done their own study and research, or even experimenting with themselves. So, I think it's an awesome thing that you're here today so we can share that. What are maybe some of the most common reasons why people may delay starting with this? Like your neighbor, she's freaking out just with the injection. I would say that's probably one of the things. I don't want to give myself injection all the time. What are the other things that people might hear about this and maybe say, oh no, and not actually do the research that they should be doing in order for them to have an informative decision?